Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in the last video, I showed you that we now know enough by understanding the concept of the mole to be able to switch from something we can measure, grams, into something we would like to count, particles. That could be atoms, if it's an element, molecules for a covalent compound, or formula units for an ionic compound. We can also switch from particles back into grams. And the way I showed you to do that was to use two steps. Now, I showed you that way because that's the way your book shows it. A lot of science teachers show it that way, and a lot of times I even find myself doing that way. However, there is a shorter way to do this if you really understand the conversion, and some of you will find it helpful. So I now want to show you how to do this conversion using only one step instead of two steps. To do that, I want to use one of the exact same problems I used in the last video. So let me read the problem, and we're going to start the same way we did last time. What is the mass of 1.204 times 10 to the 24th lithium atoms? And the way we started last time was by writing down what we were given, what we know. So we have 1.204 times 10 to the 24th atoms of lithium. Now, last time, using our little diagram, we could see that we could switch from atoms to moles to grams. So we did that in two steps. If you really understand what's going on, though, you can make a new conversion factor and do this in one step. By definition, 1 mole is always Avogadro's number. These are always equal. Now, how many grams that will be depends on what you have moles of. And we find that molar mass, the grams for 1 mole, by looking at an entry on the periodic table. So in this problem, we're looking at lithium, and the molar mass of lithium is 6.941 grams for 1 mole. So what that means is that 1 mole of lithium is the same as 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd atoms of lithium, which is the same as 6.941 grams. So for lithium, really all three of these things are equal. Well, why is that helpful? Because in this case, I want to get rid of atoms, and I really want to get grams, the mass. Before, I had to go through an intermediate step. But if I realize that all these things are equal, I can skip that intermediate step, and I can go straight from atoms to grams. Here's how we do it. We look at what's equal. Well, we know that 1 mole is 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. But we also know that 1 mole of lithium is 6.941 grams. So these two things for lithium are equal. Therefore, we can use it as a conversion factor. Atoms will cancel, and we'll get grams of lithium. So notice, we've done the same problem as before, but instead of doing two steps, we've combined it and we've done it in one step. What you would type in your calculator or what you would multiply out has not changed. 1.204 times 10 to the 24th times 6.941 divided by 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. And when you do that, you'll get 13.88 grams of lithium. One thing I want to take a second to emphasize while we're on this video, not related to the conversion itself, but anytime you're doing chemistry problems, even when you're using your calculator, try to put things in the ballpark the first time you do them to make sure that you're typing things in your calculator correctly. This is particularly important when you have scientific notation. A lot of times people type that in their calculator wrong and it gives them a radically wrong answer. Looking here, 10 to the 24th divided by 10 to the 23rd is 10 to the 1st, so that's really 10. 1.2 times 10 is 12. 12 over 6 is about 2. 2 times about 7, it's about 14. And our answer is about 14. So if you can kind of look at it and think about what you should get when you put it in your calculator, you don't have to have the exact answer, but if you can put it in the ballpark, you will avoid calculator mistakes.